Hello, everyone. Um, yeah, no, surprise, new video. Also, surprise, a different location. So, one of the many things that has happened since my last video was a tree fell on my house. Uh, and I'm gonna be dealing with a long construction process, so I'm here right now for the time being. No, there's no GoFundMe, there's no anything like that, there's no Kickstarter, there's no any crowdfunding, anything. So if anything winds up popping up and says, go click here to help out, Twisted Goalies, blah, 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 it's not me. So don't even do anything with that. It's fake. I will let you know if I ever do anything like that, but I don't need it. Uh, so outside of that, I'm probably going to call this video something like how I would book WrestleMania 40 or something like that. And I've been trying to make this video for a while, but one thing or another keeps happening. So, you know, now we've gotten to the point where, okay, they've kind of fixed it already on their own. Which, you know, is a good reason to always wait a couple of days anyway before you make a reactionary video online. But at the same time, I still feel like my fixes at the time are different from what their fixes are. And there is an overarching plot that I want to explain uh, involving how we consume wrestling. And that is the WWE has really, over the past 20 years, has dedicated themselves to making people care less and less about more and more stuff. So, we have an entire year's worth of wrestling, and yet all we care about is that little tiny bit between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And even then, you know, we don't care about everything. We'll watch a 30-minute match, and oh yeah, 25 minutes in, everyone's still on their cell phones going, yeah, it's only the first Tombstone pile driver. I like how he found the squeaky toy immediately as I said Tombstone pile driver. But it's like, oh no, that's only the first Tombstone pile driver. We know this match is not going to end. Oh no, it's only the first chair shot. We know this match is not going to end. We have trained our audience to not in a 30-minute match to only care about the last 3. Then what's the point of the other 27 minutes in this match? What happened to the 8-minute match? What happened to the 4-minute match? What happened to the 12-minute match? What happened to, you know what? You don't have to hit your finisher to win. You could just hit a body slam. You could hit a superplex. You could hit a power bomb. The power bomb doesn't get you a win anymore, unless the power bomb is your finish. That's not right. If someone hits a power bomb, that should end a match. Doesn't matter if you hit a power bomb normally or not. It's a power bomb. Same thing with, I know the DDT is dead at this point, but a superplex, in theory, should be a finish. You've just taken a move off the top rope. You're done. Now, superplex, I know they sell it like, oh no, I'm just slowly getting up to go and cover with the pin with one hand because, it took so much out of me. Fine. But if someone hits a frog splash, that's a finish. Pin. Doesn't matter you're not Eddie Guerrero, it's a frog splash. So the only person who's allowed to hit a frog splash and win is someone who has a frog splash as a finish? I don't like it. So WWE has trained everyone to only care about the last 3 minutes of any match. They've trained you to only care about the last 3 minutes of any show. They've only cared you to care about 3 months of wrestling out of the entire year. And even then, now we have these WrestleManias where they're 2 nights. And how many of those matches do you care about? There's so much filler that doesn't need to be there. But even then, we've just hyper-focused to this point where there's only one show that matters, one show that matters. You know what? If WrestleMania was bad this year, it should have been, okay, fine, that was a bad show. The next show will be fine, the next show, whatever that is, whether that was SummerSlam, whether that was Survivor Series, whether that was, King of the Ring. The idea being that we're a one-show-a-year company, where it's only one show that really matters, is a problem in of itself. Like, Go back to the original WrestleMania. That was built on 2 matches. Rest of the card, no one knew. It wasn't all every single thing conglomerating into one point. It wasn't the entire universe. An entire year worth of story and content and quality is all encapsulated in one event. We're at a point in time in wrestling where you can do jack shit for 99% of the year. Have one match on one card, and then all of a sudden it's the greatest year ever. And that doesn't really make much logical sense in my mind. So, we need to demystify WrestleMania, in my opinion. We need to go back to where it's just another show. So instead of having one major draw, we could have 2 or 3 or 4. We could have a big event happen at Survivor Series. We could have a big event happen at SummerSlam. Hey, bring back some WCW pay-per-views. We could have a big event happen in Halloween Havoc. We could have a great thing happen at Spring Stampede. We could have something happen at, Slamboree. You know, we could have something happen at Starrcade. We could have something happen at, let's bring back an ECW pay-per-view name. Heat Wave. You can have something happen at Heat Wave. Point being is that you don't have to have only this one show be the encapsulation of everything. I don't like that. So, what I've challenged myself with was I challenged myself to make an older WrestleMania card. You know, where my idea is it's only 3 hours long, there's 8 matches on the card, that's it. No 2 nights, no 7 hours of wrestling, none of that. It's just 8 matches. They're probably going to go 12 minutes each, basically. Okay? Or maybe one match goes 3 minutes and one match goes 17, you know? But point being, here's my thought process on the card. And the other thing that I always see in these sort of how I would book such and such videos is people always go and say, here's the end point. Here's what I did. Yay, that's a great WrestleMania card. And then they have nothing to lead off with. There's nowhere where it's going next. And that's really the thing. Not only do I want to make a show, I want to make a show that then we can use to have interest going in for later stuff down the line. What are you barking at? Dogs are having fun. So, anyway, I want to have something where it's like even 6 months, a year later, or whatever, there's still going to be something that we're building to. So it's not just WrestleMania, the end, and then we have to start from scratch and build everything back up for WrestleMania. Because then that means we're in the same exact problem of no one cares about anything except WrestleMania. So I need to build stuff out so that it continues onward into the next couple of shows, at the very least. We have a plan going forward. So I'm going to do this card now in reverse chronological order. I'm going to start with the main event, and I'm going to go down. So here we are, world title match, Cody versus Roman. You'll notice there's no Rock, there's no special referee Rock, there's no special enforcer Rock. Rock is not part of this match. And while WWE did fix, their issue that they had there, and whether or not it's fixed or fixed because, hey, this was always the plan. We were always going to, try to make this Daniel Bryan type storyline with Cody. Whether or not that's true or false, I don't care, because who actually looks better for it? Cody wins the Rumble and then gives up his spot and is sad for a week? Okay, so he looks like a putz, and then he comes back. The Rock, who, for whatever reason, hates Cody now because Cody said that his ancestors would hate what Roman's doing? That's your justification for the heel turn? Oh, sorry, no, your justification for the heel turn is wrestling is fake. this is real life, and in real life, Rock's an asshole. Okay, bro. Well, we've gone complete. You want to go get Lucha, go get people from Japan, bro. I mean, we've gone Vince Russo here, guys. Come on. And then Roman Reigns, the man you've been building up as this unstoppable monster for like 3 years, he's now a lackey for The Rock? No one looks better for this twist. You had a simple A to B story. Cody wins Rumble, fights Roman Reigns. That's all you needed. You don't need to throw a twist in here just for the sake of it. And I know that they have not necessarily wrestling writers, but they have Hollywood movie writers. And I know in Save the Cat, right before Act 3, there's the deepest despair the character feels. Does not need to happen. We've already been at the lowest point in Cody's life when he lost the first match in WrestleMania 39. We already did that. We're good. You didn't need to throw another twist. Just simple A-B story, Cody versus Roman, Cody wins. And my thought process is that he's going to lead off into some feuds with Drew and some feuds with Priest. And Roman's going to go away for a while. A, because, he needs to take time back off, and I might want to debut him back as a babyface later on. Maybe he'll be a heel, maybe he'll be a babyface, but I need to get Roman away from this scenario in a little bit. And then bring him back maybe as a surprise or as a loner, maybe some sort of like AJ Styles no one gimmick type thing where he's not on anyone's side. Don't know, but I want him to go away so we can refresh his character, because after 3-4 years of the same thing, we need a refresh on him. Reason number 2, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but they're doing a lot to hide Roman. They are. He's wrestling in a shirt now far more often. He's also, being protected way more by booking shenanigans all around him. And he's being hit in multi-man matches. I think Roman's cancer has come back, guys. I think there's health issues that no one's telling us. I think that's what they're hiding with Roman. And, they don't want to go and, interrupt their story by saying, hey, the leukemia's come back and, we need to get this off Roman until, the moment we need to actually get it off Roman. So I think that's also another reason where he needs to just go away, focus on his health. But either way, the plot line of Cody winning, that's the crowning achievement. That's the big moment. That sends the fans home happy. Yay. How long of a reign is Cody going to have? Find out. Because the next match, I'm working under the assumption that CM Punk is actually injured, and that's also not a work. Okay? So, but if it is a work, okay, congratulations, you've done 2 work shoots. What the fuck? But anyway, secondary titles match. Gunther versus Seth. Yes, Seth's title is a secondary title. So I have written here, Gunther goes over in a dominant fashion. Because if Seth is injured, perfect excuse, 3-minute match. Just boom, boom, boom. Gunther hits him with everything. Gunther wins. This will lead eventually to a match with Cody, which Cody will lose. Gunther will win. Gunther will then have the heavyweight title and the secondary titles, and we're all going to unify those together into an actual world title. There's too many damn titles. So we've got the unified world heavyweight title. We've unified the secondary titles. Now the secondary title beats the main champion. Boom, we're unifying the main belts. Okay. And why am I doing this? Well, this is leading to Seth rebuilding himself. Gunther's going to take some challengers, beat people up, so on and so forth. And this will lead to Seth rebuilding himself and coming after for the title at the next year's WrestleMania. Or, assuming it's possibly earlier than that, a little bit earlier. But point being, at some point in time, Seth is going to rebuild himself, take time off to heal all his nagging injuries, and he's going to come back, and the match is going to be Seth has 5 new things in his moveset that take Gunther completely off guard, and Seth wins it in almost as dominant a fashion. So they're then 1-for-1, and you then have the ability to go run that back for a third match where Gunther gets to go and say, I was not expecting that, I was not ready, I was not prepared, come back and fight me again, that sort of thing. Or, this also leads to a Cody-Seth feud. Hey Seth, congratulations, you conquered the beast that I couldn't. I'm still 3-0 against you. That's another feud Seth could have. Or, I'm assuming at this point, CM Punk is back, and we can run back Punk versus Seth. It's like, hey, I'm glad you're healthy. I'm healthy too now. And, hey, we have some unfinished business. So, once Seth becomes the champion, you've got 3 different potential feuds right there that you can run with. So, I had Rock not in the main event because I have him here. Okay? And this is also why I'm going backwards through chronology, because this all kind of why things happen are built up in the lower card, and I want to, explain why as I go down. I have special Samoan tribal combat match, The Rock versus Solo Sikoa. Why is this happening? At some point in time, Solo gives the spike to Rock at one of the shows before Mania, and that builds this match where, I'm not going to get my hands on Roman Reigns until I deal with you first, little nephew. And I know there's already been a special Samoan combat trial match or whatever in WWE, and it was just, here's a couple kendo sticks and a chair, and maybe a table. Whoop-de-frickin-do. No. We're going full Punch-Out here. We're going full ethnic stereotype. I want a special area with a pit of sand with rocks around it and maybe like some fire around the rocks or whatever. And I want this to just be a, if we're going to have a hardcore match, it's going to be a hardcore match with a very unique gimmick. And at the end of the match, whatever ridiculous bullshit you can go with, Solo Sikoa gets wound up shipped into a crate that says for Samoa, and it just drives off in a truck. It's on a bed and just drives off. There we go. That is the reason why Solo Sikoa cannot interfere in the World Heavyweight title match, and that's why Roman Reigns loses. And this is why Roman Reigns then blames The Rock for what happened at Mania, and you wind up having a match between Roman and Rock at SummerSlam to, crown the new tribal chief. And you can do a couple things here. You could either have Roman lose, and The Rock, defeats it. He becomes head of the bloodline. He destroys the bloodline and says, it's done, it's over, all of this is away, and, that sort of stuff. Or we could have Solo come in, attack The Rock afterwards, get revenge on that, and then we have the reign of Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief. Either way you want to do it, you could. But point being, Roman is no longer going to be in charge at this point. We're going to have a twist in Roman's character from here on out. Now, personally, I would just say we're ending the bloodline. It's been 3 years. I don't want this to go into NWO territory where by the year 2000, everyone's like, really? We're doing this still? Okay. So, I would just end it there at SummerSlam. Next, I have U.S. title match. Logan Paul versus L.A. Knight. Now, I'm aware they're probably going to do L.A. Knight versus AJ Styles. Sure, fine, whatever. But basically, L.A. Knight's like your most over guy right now. Give him a title. Okay? And considering I'm converging all the other titles so that there's one main title again, this is the secondary title now. You've got the world title, then you've got the U.S. title. Okay? And it just so happened that the U.S. title happened to be the one that Gunther didn't have. If it was the Intercontinental title, fine, it would have been a world title, then Intercontinental. But point being, this is the mid-card belt now. The only mid-card belt. So LA Knight wins, and then here's where I'm going to go into some territory booking, okay? because I think Logan Paul has enough heat and enough hatred that he could get away with this. He could really get away with this. Where Paul wants a rematch, he loses. And then he gets a "you can't wrestle for it again" stipulation somehow, loses again. And because of that stipulation, now he's just using all his money and sponsorship deals, and he's trying to get anyone to take the title off of LA Knight. Just anyone you possibly could. Just, come on, guys, come on, And of course, somehow, he keeps finding a way to screw over his own person by mistake. Like, "oh, the ref is down. I'm going to throw in a chair." LA Knight catches the chair, hits the heel. Boom! Ref wakes up, 1, 2, 3. Or, he's blinded somehow, and he's going to hook someone's leg, and he hooks the wrong person's leg. Just stuff where every single time there's a match, Logan Paul screws over his own guy. LA Knight keeps outsmarting Logan Paul. And then eventually, at some point in time, there's two ways this could go. You could either give it to Dominic, and for massive heat, but I don't think Dominic needs it. I think Dominic already gets massive heat just because everyone loves giving Dominic massive heat. But I'm thinking Drew. Drew McIntyre is the one that finally takes it off of LA Knight. And then we start the Drew McIntyre LA Knight program. But we start the Drew McIntyre Logan Paul program as well. Because Logan Paul is going to be doing this whole entire thing where it's like, this man right here, this man is my champion. And, it is because of my brilliance that he's the champion. And, he may be smart, but he has no brains. I'm the brains. And just start doing little things like that. Like, this man is too dumb to have enemies, but I have enemies. So therefore, my enemies are his enemies. And start doing stuff like that. Until eventually, we all know what's going to happen. Drew McIntyre is going to kick Logan Paul in the face one day, and the crowd's going to erupt with cheers. And then, I'm imagining around that time happens as well. CM Punk is also back then, and now we have a U.S. title match possibility as well. Because, hey, remember, Drew's the one that injured CM Punk, and there's something we could run back there. And who knows, maybe CM Punk is, at this point in time, maybe he's come back and he lost a match with Seth or something. Maybe CM Punk's a little bit more heelish. But I'm leaving it open for possibilities of what we could do. So, then I have, at this point in time, we have ourselves a situation where we need to have matches of like the women's match and the tag team match of some sort. And I realize with 8 matches on the card, we're not only going to have one women's match. Now, realistically, there should only be one women's title. You do not have enough women to split this division 3 different ways. You also don't have enough tag teams to split this division 3 different ways. The tag titles are unified right now. The women's title needs to as well. But I'm not doing that on this card. I just figured what was the bigger match out of the two, and Ripley versus Becky was the bigger match. There's no necessarily storyline necessarily going out of this one. Ripley's going over. That's really kind of just it. Ripley's going over. She needs to go over. And then I have over here, find a way to condense the women's belt later. Because the other feud with Bayley is good, but we will need some sort of situation where eventually Ripley and Bayley will then go, because I'm assuming Bayley will win the title as well. Although, of course, that would just not happen at Mania. That might be a pre-show match. That might just be a big Raw or a big SmackDown match, to pop a number or something. But point being, it's not happening here at Mania in my 8-match card limit. Then we have tag team match, and I figured it's going to be Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth. Because I look at it and go, who the heck are they even building up to be challengers for the tag titles? And that's the only thing I could think of. As for who wins, I'm gonna say Awesome Truth. Mainly because, hey, it's babyface win, send the crowd home happy, whatever. But at the same time, I think Judgment Day is going to be imploding soon, so getting titles off them will will happen at some point, but not necessarily much of importance on this match. It's just a feel-good moment. Brother versus brother, Jimmy versus Jay. Babyface wins. This also leads, obviously, to the point where, in the main event, the heel tries to cheat for Roman, and the babyface brother pulls it out and stops it from happening. So, I would then move both of these guys onto the U.S. title picture following either LA Knight or Drew's wins, based on face-heel alignment at the time. Okay? But that's also done, the brother versus brother thing. It's over. And then as far as the opener, a big battle royal where Drew dominates everyone. And I don't mean, this is not a match, guys. This is 3 minutes of just Drew McIntyre just slamming someone, Claymore, throw out, grab someone else, clothesline them, slam them, throw them out. Just Drew McIntyre is the only person that gets offense in this match. This is an angle. This is building him as the next unstoppable force, because he's angry that he's not in the main event. He's angry that he's in the opener, and he is angry, and he's going to go on a destructive streak of, epic proportions, to which eventually will get him the U.S. title, and then so on and so forth along the way. To build him up the card, and I feel like that would be what I would do. So I have, the opening battle royal angle, couple of matches where, okay, the obvious thing happens, brother versus brother, a tag team match, babyfaces win, women's match, Ripley has to go over, and then we get into the top 4 matches, which are really where the actual continuity important stuff happens. So we're building up then, but I still wanted to have an angle at the beginning, just that we have, no, we're going to be using Drew. This is what we're going to be doing, because the opener at the same time sets the tone, sets the mood. You win that match, in theory, you should be important. So that's my thought process. And I feel like this leaves enough room open for multiple outcomes come SummerSlam, multiple outcomes come whenever someone gets healthy and comes back. We leave ourselves enough room for various storylines to happen. As far as whatever happens with Judgment Day, I don't know yet, but, I can't come up with everything at this point, because at the same time, I don't want this to be, hey, every storyline ends, every storyline starts here, because once again, that defeats the purpose of WrestleMania just being a show. The Royal Rumble used to just be a show. You won the Royal Rumble, it was yay, it was impressive. It didn't mean you were main eventing WrestleMania. It was just, you won it. Hogan won it when he was champ. I almost said Butch Reed, wrong hacksaw. Jim Duggan won it, and it was just something to win. It was a big moment event, but it wasn't the end-all, be-all to lead into WrestleMania. Same thing with, people try to fix these things by saying, hey, King of the Ring, let's make King of the Ring give you an advantage in whatever, or let's make Survivor Series give you makes you get the number 30 spot in the Rumble. It doesn't matter. Like, if you can't just try to tie everything in like it's serialization. I don't think that's the way to go. We need to just make things more even again, with all these shows having, 2 or 3 things of importance. But the rest of the card, most of that undercard is just, hey, here's a couple matches. And have it build up to the climax of importance, instead of having, like some of those. Actually, I'll even say the same thing with the 2 night WrestleManias. There were situations where, yay, night 1, amazing, and then no one gave a crap about night 2. Or for the 7-hour Manias, hey, 4 hours in, yay, we had our great main event, and then no one cared about the next 3 hours. They were done. Not everything has to be this giant, big, thing. So I think I put together a generally realistic card that could go with many different places later on in the future. So that's my thought process. That's where I was going. I know they're home. I know. So, see you guys. Have fun later. Bye-bye.